How we doing, traders, and welcome to the SPACs attack. Let's get it. All right, traders, welcome to the SPACs attack. Everybody, if you can do me a favor, let's start it off great. Let's go ahead and let's hit the share button right below. Let's put this on Twitter. Let everybody know that later on, in about 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be having the CEO of HOFV. Super excited to have him on. And I know Chris worked hard to get this one. Let's bring on my man, the brains of the show here, Chris Ketchy. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, super excited. Looks like we got a lot of people joining up here. We got over 300 people watching on Twitter right now. So if you want to join the active question channel, then that's when you want to go to the YouTube. Go to that YouTube link so that way you guys go ahead can comment in the chat, ask us questions so that we can ask your question and get it answered. So let's go ahead and I really want to get into the headlines. I know that there's a lot going on, so Chris has a lot to tell you guys. So before we get into too much of me talking here, let's take us back.
All right, guys. Yeah, so lots of headlines to get to today, but we're going to try to keep it brief because we do want to get to that exciting CEO interview we have, which really, is what this show is all about. So up first, we have App Harvest. So former symbol NOVS will now be traded as APPH. This is Indoor Farming Company. That merger was approved last week on Friday. This is one we've talked about for a while on the show. Keep an eye on this. Indoor agriculture looks like it could be a huge growth, market going forward. This company is right in the central location of the U.S., so good distribution footprint there. They have Martha Stewart on the board of directors. I expect exciting things here from App Harvest, so keep an eye out on that one. Another favorite we've talked about on the show is Lordstown Motors, so symbol RIDE, RIDE. It was announced that they're going to unveil their electric van in June that is expected to go into production in 2022. So again, Lordstown Motors has that electric pickup truck coming to market, but also keep an eye out as now they're expanding into additional vehicles. Virgin Galactic, former SPAC, symbol SPCE. Shares are booming today. It was announced that their next flight window will open February 13th. Remember, we got a run up last time into that flight window before shares fell from the delay in that flight. I am long shares of SPCE. I talked about this one as a buying opportunity on that dip from that flight window. Shares have recovered since then, hitting all-time highs. Keep an eye on this one. I'm a firm believer in, this flight being successful and then, getting humans into space. We talked about that buying opportunity, so don't go chasing now, but keep an eye out on SPCE. Another former SPAC, DraftKings, DKNG, one of the hottest sports betting companies out there. It was announced that they purchased and will run a Super Bowl ad to all markets for the first time ever. So last year they did, a centralized commercial in certain states that have legalized sports betting. They now are looking to do, a nationwide commercial, really focus on that brand presence. We talked before, they're in 12 states now, growing rapidly. So keep an eye out, see what this commercial is all about and how that could affect the stock price next Monday after that game takes place. Then we have IPOE, so merging with SoFi. This is a Chamath Palihapitiya SPAC, of course. Shares were up 24% on Friday. We talked about this one on the show Friday, as SoFi is seen as a possible winner from the exodus of traders on Robinhood. Chamath even tweeted about using SoFi over Robinhood. So keep an eye out on IPOE. As SoFi said that they were seeing unprecedented growth and high volume. So they did have some problems there, which is, at this point, probably a good problem to have with too many new users joining the platform. And then real quick, we want to get to our deals. So we have another merger Monday here. Last Monday, we had 5 deals. This Monday, we have 6 business combinations. And as our friend Julian Klimachko tweeted out, this is the busiest day for SPACs in history with 6 business combinations, 15 S1 filings, and 7 splits. What a day for the SPACs. So touching on those deals quick. So up first, we have LACQ merging with Ensys Biosciences, a clinical stage bio company. Then we have SAII merging with Autonomo, a platform and marketplace for vehicle data. We have FST merging with Golden Nugget and Landry's. This is one we talked about with that rumor. This will be the Landry's restaurant group and Golden Nugget casinos. Remember that Golden Nugget online, the sports betting online arm, has already gone public via the SPAC GNOG. Then we have KSMT announcing a merger with Nexters Global, a maker of mobile and social games, including Hero Wars. That was done at a 1.9 billion enterprise value. This one I want to look at for sure this week, as we've talked a lot about mobile and social gaming growth. Then we have THCB finally announcing that merger with Microvast, a battery company. This one has been rumored for a long time. People have been waiting for this one. THCB was still trading at a decent premium. Those shares are up significantly today. This is done at a $2.4 billion value. They see revenue of 101 million in 2020, growing over 125% to 230 million for fiscal 2021, and triple-digit growth of 100% for fiscal 2022 at 460 million. This obviously is a huge deal. We'll be covering that one later on this week. And then we have ASPL announcing a merger with Wheels Up, a leading brand in private aviation. That was a rumor that we had a couple weeks ago that we also hit here. That being done at a $2.1 billion enterprise value. 2020 revenue estimate of 690 million, and 2021 $912 million revenue, 32% growth. So 6 new deals announced, lots of exciting names. We're going to try to cover those later this week. And then we do have some votes this week. So tomorrow we have PCPL voting on that merger with E2 Open. AMCI also on tomorrow, the second, voting on that merger with Advent Technologies. And then we have FSDC voting on their merger with Gemini Therapeutics on the 3rd, which is Wednesday. So 3 merger votes this week. So keep an eye out on all those names, and we'll let you know if those are approved. So that's it for headlines and a brief touch on those deals, Mitch.
All right, definitely. You see, that's why we got my man with the brain coming with the calendar, coming with some catalyst, and also some things to watch for. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the things that I feel that you got to do in SPACs is you got to try to be with the catalyst. Also, start trying to like get with the news. Also, like start seeing the rumors move to that definitive agreement, and that's how you really are going to be able to kind of get a little bit in front of the catalyst. And that's what I've been trying to do lately. Been trying to get, with the dip in the market, been trying to get some more closer towards 10. The closest towards 10 I can get, the better and comfortable I feel in these positions. So was able to get that bullhorn for you. I know that you talked about that one, Chris, and I was able to get in. And I was able to get in at that 10:07 pricing that we talked about on the last time on the show. So I just wanted to give everyone that. And it looks like today, top movers, I'm seeing ZNTE, THBR, and CCIV. Of course, we know that CCIV still in those rumors, right? There's still nothing definitive, right, Chris?
Yeah, still some rumors out there on those names.
All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and let's drop right into our interview of the day. So if you guys can do us a favor out there, if you guys like us to bring these executive interviews, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button down below, so that way you guys can be the first ones to see these interviews. All right, Chris, go ahead and bring on our special guest here.
All right, guys. So I'm excited. We have a former SPAC CEO interview today. So we have Michael Crawford joining us. He's the chairman of the board, president, and CEO for Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. That is symbol HOFV. So, Michael, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Looks like Michael's having the old mute trick with us.
You got to start out a call with being on mute, don't you? I mean, it's the way it works these days. Yeah, thanks.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday. So
thanks for having me, though.
That was the moment of silence. That was the moment of silence there for us.
You see the lips going, but nothing coming out.
Hey, well, welcome to the show. I'll let Chris go right into the questions here, and I'll be back with you. You guys go ahead and enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, Michael. So up first, I know it's been a little while since Hall of Fame Resort went public, but the biggest question, why a SPAC versus a traditional IPO to hit the public markets?
I think it's a combination of things. First, when you find a partner like Gordon Point that has the same interests and alignment that you do, it's great to have somebody who's already there, being publicly traded. There's a bit more ease in going to the markets, and it just provides access to liquidity at a time where that's what we were looking to do. So all three of those factors aligned for us, and it made sense.
Awesome. So I know Hall of Fame Resort is kind of broken down into 3 phases. I'm wondering if you can walk us through each of those phases and kind of the timeline that we have, for those exciting ventures here.
Yeah, so I would say that the company itself has 3 different business verticals, and one is themed destination-based assets, and we're building that first one in Canton, Ohio, the birthplace of professional football. That has 3 phases to it. Phase 1 is already finished and operational. Phase 2 is under construction right now. And then, of course, phase 3 is on the drawing board, but we have a vision towards what we want to build and what will complement what's already there. And so that's very exciting. The second business that we're in is media. And you may have seen recently, we've signed some deals with Tupelo Honey, Elite Holdings, certainly Sports Illustrated. We're getting our legs under us there, and we've got great access to content and brand partnerships. So it's exciting to have stories that we can bring to life. And then the third, of course, is something I'm really excited about as well, which is getting into gaming. And again, the brand partnerships and content that we have available to us has allowed us to acquire what was formerly known as the Crown League, what is now rebranded to be the Hall of Fantasy League. And we'll be launching that this year, allowing us to get into the gaming side of the business. It's really about being where our guests and fans are spending time and enjoying the game of professional football. So, we have, even through COVID, we've made great progress on all 3 of those business verticals. And as an example, we opened a hotel here just about a month and a half ago. We broke ground on a couple of the assets that we're building in phase 2 for the asset creation here in Canton. And we're excited about, continuing that work over the next several months.
Awesome. So I know, located in Canton with that Pro Football Hall of Fame, strong relationship with the NFL and the Players Association. How does that set your company up for success in the future, already having, that strong partnership and relationship?
Well, we've been working with the NFL Alumni Association for quite some time. Of course, we kick off the NFL season here with the Hall of Fame game at Enshrinement, and we're hoping to have that this August with Pittsburgh and Dallas. That's going to be a big game. There's certainly a lot of different types of youth sporting clinics and academies and things that we've done over the last several years in combination with the NFL and the Alumni Association. We plan on growing that business even bigger this year and beyond. But it's rare that you get a chance to have ownership in professional football, and that's what our company offers the investor, right? I mean, Green Bay, Wisconsin, maybe, and a particular team, but here you have a business that's built on the power of professional football, the popularity of it, by far the most popular sport in America today. 185 million fans worldwide, literally spending billions of dollars on their franchises. to watch their teams play and have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, like is coming up this week, and we're excited about that. But I think our company offers those fans a chance to engage in multiple different ways and have them become part of the sport, immersed in it in ways that they haven't been able to do on their own.
Perfect. I want to turn away from football just for a minute. So I saw an exciting music announcement. So Highway 77 Music Festival, Dan and Shay headlining. That's going to be later this fall. So obviously we have the pandemic going on now, but it looks like Hall of Fame venture will be able to capitalize on the concert side of things, like some of these other professional sports stadiums. So what's kind of the thought process on adding in some entertainment, some music side, and non-sports content, both live and from a media perspective?
Yeah, I think it's a simple strategy, right? Most professional football stadiums and venues and basketball arenas, they do this all the time. And it's very smart to leverage the asset that you have in multiple different ways. And so when we built Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, it was built with the idea of being a venue that could host concerts and festivals and business meetings, multiple different types of events beyond just sporting events. And so we're excited to be able to have the Highway 77 Music Fest. We look forward to that being sort of one of our big tentpole days and weekends of the year. But there's more. We're looking forward to really bringing back in a much bigger way. I think people are really just starved, as we all are. We've been doing the right thing. We've been sheltering, taking care of ourselves. And yet we're social creatures. We like to be around others. And, our plan is to continue forward and do great booking around concerts and festivals and different iconic events that would be special for us here in Canton. And so the venue allows us to do that. And then, of course, we have a hotel for people to stay in now. And as we build out more assets, they can dine, they can be entertained, they can stay on property. It's really exciting creating these kinds of destinations.
Awesome. And then you touched briefly on the fantasy sports side of things, that Crown League, and getting into the gaming side of things. So what does that look like, for the next NFL season as far as launching some of that fantasy sports monetization?
So this is a really special league, one of a kind. I think we found a great white space in the fantasy sports business. This will be a geo-based league, just like the NFL. So you'll have teams in specific cities or states. We look forward to announcing those in the next couple of months. You'll have front offices. As I've always said, those front offices would be populated with professional fantasy players, maybe Hall of Famers, maybe celebrity NFL alumni, sales and marketing. And so the point here is you now have teams, and you can stake. We did a partnership with Stake Kings. You can stake those teams, sort of having a quasi ownership in those teams yourself. And as those teams win, or as they have sponsors or they have merchandise that they sell, if there's a media show wrapped around this, if there's sports betting that you can do now that these teams can literally play each other virtually, it's really exciting to think about how this can be monetized. And so we plan on continuing a series of activations over the next several months, including, as I said, the announcement of the teams, then the front offices, and then the ability to stake those teams in your particular city or your particular state. And then hopefully, as we work towards gaming partnerships and sports betting partnerships, have the ability to actually activate, around making a bet on your team. And so it really does follow the NFL model. And I think one that people will just be excited about. They'll be in a community of fans cheering for their team. You won't have to go to 10 different websites looking where your players are and looking for their stats. We'll do all of that for you. Completely mobile, a lot of technology wrapping this, and it's a community-based type of fantasy experience. The Hall of Fantasy League, I think, will just continue to grow, and we're excited to launch it this year.
Awesome. So you talked about sports betting a couple times there in that response. So my question is, so obviously looking to monetize the fantasy sports side of things with possible sports betting there. Are you looking broad-based at, applying for a license for sports betting if it's legalized in Ohio? to where people would be able to bet from your properties. Is that something that has been discussed?
It has, and we've actually had several discussions with multiple different gaming companies. Of course, I can't talk about those today, but you pointed out accurately that sports betting is still illegal here in Ohio. But as I said, as you think about launching a fantasy league with different franchises in different cities or states where gambling may be legal, we might be able to activate that sooner as opposed to later. But it's absolutely our intention. Look, I think sports betting has become one of those ways in which fans really enhance their experience. They like the betting aspect. It's no longer this thing that has a stigma attached to it. It really does, and as I said, enhance the way in which guests enjoy professional sport. And so our intention, albeit when it is legalized, is to pursue a partnership that would allow us to have those types of activations and those types of experiences for our fans here on site and virtually as well.
Awesome. So, why is Ohio, aside from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, being located there, why is Ohio such an important location to kind of bring fans together to a venture like this?
Well, you pointed it out. I mean, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is here, but it was the birthplace of professional football. But from a business perspective, within an 8-hour drive radius, you have half of the NFL franchises. Within 5 hours, you have almost 35 million people all looking for this type of entertainment. And I think when you combine those things, fans love being immersed. Tailgating is a great aspect of professional football, right? Or any type of sport. We want to offer an environment that challenges the athlete on the field, the fan in the stadium, allows them to be entertained, allows them to be immersed with other like-minded people. And, fans spend a lot on their franchises. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, as you well know, the NFL, merchandising, television rights, sponsorship. We have already great sponsorships. We already have media that we're working on and launching. And of course, when you have a destination for people to come in that sort of three-dimensional environment and be immersed, it really does allow them to take part of and be active in an environment where they can feel great and inspired. And we're looking forward to providing that to them and already do. On an annual basis, we've welcomed several million guests to the property over the last 2 or 3 years, and looking forward to increasing that this year and beyond.
So with the pandemic happening now, your company's still been able to sign several media partnerships and kind of make some of those announcements. But, on a broad-based scale, it looks like maybe this could impact, timeline of some of those phases and the financial projections. So, what does the pandemic do as far as the timeline, and how do you kind of, offset that here?
I think you pointed it out. We were quick to pivot to some of our experiences that aren't heavily asset-based in terms of media and gaming. We did pick up partnerships and sponsorships through this pandemic. And so I'm very proud of the team and how we've been able to execute. The concert festival is another great example of that. And we're not finished. There's more things that are in the works, and we're looking forward to bringing forward and talking about in the future. But really for us, when you think about the destination, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but the pandemic only allowed us to build during a down market. We were in the process of building phase 2 regardless. And so we weren't open, with multiple of the assets that we're going to open with in phase 2. We continue to build. In fact, we hope to realize some advantage in terms of construction costs, since many other projects have been canceled and ours is not. And so, for us, it's always the physical side of it is sort of build in a down market, open at a time where people, again, are just really dying and starving to get back out into this kind of environment and socialize and cheer for teams and be a part of participating on the fields as well. But it was important for us to be able to pivot quickly. I give credit to the team. We did a great job in really moving forward with things that aren't asset heavy, but still allow us to generate revenue for our company and for our shareholders.
Oh, Mitch with the mute trick now.
Well, oh, look at that. You got me. You got me. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner. All right. So, one of the things that I notice is, the power of football and really growing. One of the things that I've not only noticed is after Goodell, we definitely did get kind of this revenue increase. But what I really am focusing on is kind of the other two pictures that you see here, and really how television has really been kind of the viewership is going to kind of grow after the pandemic. One of the things that I'm starting to look for is how can we can have these sports experiences but at the same time not be inside the stadium, right? And I think that's where you guys really are kind of fitting the need here and fitting the demand that is out there. A lot of us want to have these experiences. I know myself being a sports guy, I love anything to do with sports. So if you can bring that experience to light, and how could this how can someone get a different experience from going to a stadium versus going to kind of your Hall of Fame resort?
Yeah, well, listen, when you come here, you have multiple things that you can engage with, right? And I think people coming to destinations like ours really are excited about not only seeing or participating in an event, or maybe even being an athlete on the field, but having a great place to shop or dine or experience other attractions, entertainment. Coming from Disney in my past, I will tell you, there's no other company that does it better. They bring you there to see those different theme parks and be immersed in the rides and the shows. But while you're there, you're doing multiple other things. And so that's the intention here. And we're fortunate enough to have great brand partnerships with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the NFL Alumni Association, and others that will allow us to have content. So content really is kind of the lifeblood of any of these destinations. So it's our intention to have programming all the time, sport and non-sport, things like festivals and concerts, business meetings, weddings, all kinds of things that you can do on site. But you're right. I mean, the hook is football, and more importantly, being immersed in an environment where you can really just kind of have fun, enjoy, whether it's watching something, playing something, or being, virtually transported into an environment where you are actually a participant without being a participant. So, again, surrounded by fans, surrounded by people looking for entertainment, we felt very good about starting with our first destination being here in Canton.
Perfect. So you mentioned your experience with Disney. So I've seen the comparisons, to your company with Disney. Are those comparisons fair? As this being the Disney World of sports or the NFL?
Well, look, those are big, big destinations. I think, with anything else, you master plan and grow over a period of time. Disney World did not start with 4 theme parks, 24,000 plus hotel rooms, et cetera. Nor will we. And we'll be very smart about, from an investor's point of view, being building as we build attendance and the fans come more and stay longer, we build more. And I think that's the first thing. But where it does compare to a Disney, and where I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I am in, is you have physical destinations, you have media, you have gaming. And so we have a business model that can cross-pollinate all of this content and all of these brand partnerships that I've spoken about in ways that other companies just can't. And so as we developed our strategy, that was really key. Don't just build a place, build content, build partnerships that will really allow you to sort of synergistically drive value for the consumer and fan, sports fan alike. And I think that's what we are doing and what we've continued to do successfully so far.
Yeah, it seems to me like you guys are really attacking the whole ecosystem, not just having the assets, but also having the media to go along with it. And I like how you guys are getting into kind of the new fields of the gaming and trying to get into some new kind of upcoming trends that are you're seeing in generations. So I'm definitely going to take a look. I got to make a trip up there to Ohio. Been meaning to make a trip already to our base in Detroit. So I'm gonna have to take a trip when I go to Detroit also. And quick drive out there to Ohio. So
yeah, come anytime. Even now, it's a little bit snowy here now, but you can still have fun.
Hey, I know Chris and I are gonna have to make the trip out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Be our honor to have you guys here. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. So we'll give it one more couple seconds. If you guys have any other question you'd like to ask Michael, definitely put it in the chat. Chris, anything you want to go ahead and leave off with?
No, I think that's it. I know we appreciate you being on the show, Michael. We look forward to following that progress. As someone who grew up an NFL fan, I actually took trips to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, every couple of years with my family. Great memories. So I'm looking forward to making the trip back and, seeing what this new venture is all about. So, thanks for that insight and, allowing us the time to talk to you today.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. And you said it, Chris. Making those memories, having a place, having virtual environments for people to enjoy, that's really what we're about. And so we're looking forward to bringing more of that to life this year.
All right, we'll bring you back, Michael. I know that I'm going to have to make a trip out there. Hey, I love my football. And, hey, congratulations to you this year, I'm sure, with Cleveland pushing a little bit further in. I'm sure you enjoyed that one, Michael.
I grew up a Browns fan. You got to take them when you can get them. This was a good
There you go.
Hey, well, I'll smash a thumbs up for that one for you. We'll see you next time, Michael. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. As you can see, hey, from one football fan to another, I think I'm going to be definitely interested in visiting this, and we'll have to take a look on how the phases develop. That's really what I'm going to take a look at in the long term for our viewers out there. Let's keep an eye on how phase 2 and phase 3 go and see how they develop, Is that what's on your mind also, Chris?
Yeah, that's the key here. They went public via SPAC, exciting prospects, but, they were a couple years away from that. And it looks like investors lost interest, in the company. Again, this is ticker HOFV, but it's starting to come back to life. And I think one of the keys for me during the interview was talking about during the pandemic, being able to pivot to some of those announcements with, media, concerts in the future, and not all about NFL. And really building that whole ecosystem, fantasy sports betting. Guys, you heard it here. Sports betting, for that possible fantasy football league, and also looking at partnerships when it gets legalized in Ohio. So don't sleep on this name. If Ohio gets legalized, this is going to be one of those small companies that could run on that news. So pay attention to this. Know your own risk reward, as we pay attention to phase 2 and phase 3 here.
Yeah, definitely. Going to be looking forward to it, and got to keep my eye on my man Baker. You got to bake it till you make it, right? All right, guys. So definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe below. We'll see you next time on the SPACs. Attack, baby.